Bears Nation, hold on tight because Hallis Hall is on fire, and the news we have today is going to blow your minds. A bombshell trade no one saw coming could free up over $20 million and change Caleb Williams' future forever. Yes, you heard that right, and the source is Bleacher Report, so this is more real than a Khalil Mack tackle. But that's just the beginning because while some are leaving, others are arriving to redefine our offense. Get ready to meet the rookie Ben Johnson is already drawing plays for on napkins, a guy with 0 to 60 acceleration that will make opposing defenders look like practice cones. And just when you think you've seen it all, a contract restructuring on the offensive line leaves us with more questions than answers. A move that could mean brutal competition for a starting spot or an unexpected exit no one in the Windy City saw coming. So smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to join the True Bear Nation and show you trust Ryan Poles' process. Bear down. Okay, listen up, fam. The news that's reverberating louder than a Roquan Smith tackle in his prime, the one that's making phones ring off the hook at Hallis Hall, and in every corner of the Windy City is the Cole Kmet situation. Cole Kmet HD, and this is where we have to be brutally honest with ourselves, right? Ever since Caleb Williams landed in Chicago as our savior, and especially with the meteoric explosion of Colston Loveland, Kmet's role has changed, and it's not a subtle change, man. It's a 180-degree turn. Remember, in 2023, Kmet was one of our main offensive weapons, 73 receptions, 719 yards, 6 touchdowns. He was the guy Caleb looked for when things got tough, the one who moved the chains, the one who gave us that security in the middle of the field. It seemed like he was on his way to solidifying himself as one of the best tight ends in the league. But what happened last year? 30 receptions, 347 yards, a couple of touchdowns, his lowest number since his rookie season in 2020. It's a considerable drop-off, and we can't ignore it. It's clear that his chemistry with Caleb never quite clicked as we expected, even before Loveland became the monster he is. Now here comes the bomb, fam. Bleacher Report, and specifically Christopher Knox, is floating an idea that at first makes you raise an eyebrow. Cole Kmet to the Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, I know your first reaction is, but they have Travis Kelce. Why would they want Kmet? And that's where the deep analysis comes in, bro. Kelce, bless his name, is a legend, a future Hall of Famer. But let's be realistic, man. He's not immortal. He's been going year to year, and the 2026 season could be, and it pains me to say it, his last dance. The Chiefs surprisingly didn't draft any tight ends. Not one. That leaves a huge void, a clear need for the future of their offense, and their fam is where Cole Kmet, with his experience, his size, his blocking ability, and his reliable hands, fits perfectly. It would be a smart acquisition to secure the position post-Kelce. And for us, for our Chicago Bears, this is a golden opportunity, an opportunity that Ryan Poles cannot pass up. Think about it. If we trade Kmet, we could get draft capital, a second or third round pick maybe that Poles could use to reinforce that defensive line that worries us so much, or to add more talent to the secondary. Plus, we'd free up cap space, which is always welcome. And most importantly, bro, we'd give Colston Loveland the absolute spotlight he deserves. Loveland is the future. We saw him last year leading the team in receptions. His versatility, his ability to play like a slot receiver, his athleticism, he's a weapon that Ben Johnson can exploit to the fullest. If Met leaves, there's no doubt who the number 1 TE will be, and that would give Loveland the opportunity to shine even brighter. This is a win-win, man, a move that makes tactical, financial, and strategic sense for Da Bears. Ryan Poles has to be analyzing this closely with that shark-like gaze that characterizes him. We cannot cling to the past. We have Caleb, we have Odunze, Burton, Loveland. We need to maximize talent and resources, and if that means saying goodbye to a good player like Met to improve the team overall, then so be it, bear down. But wait a second, because if we're talking explosiveness, future, and players who make you jump out of your seat, we have to talk about Xavian Thomas. Xavian Thomas HD. This third-round rookie fam is generating hype that's just not normal. And when I say not normal, I mean that kind of hype that makes you feel like something big is cooking at Hallis Hall. Ben Johnson, our head coach, is already talking about him, and not with empty words. He says they have a clear vision for Thomas. And when Johnson, a guy who's an offensive genius, says that, and Ryan Poles, our GM, talks about his 0 to 60 acceleration, about how those guys don't grow on trees, we know this is serious. This isn't just a player, it's a chess piece that can change the game. Thomas ran a 4.28 at the combine, a 4.28. Do you realize what that means? It's pure speed, hip-breaking speed, speed that leaves defenders eating dust. But it's not just speed, bro, it's versatility. Johnson already sees him lining up in the backfield, taking handoffs, running routes from any position on the field. This, fam, is the definition of an offensive chess piece, a guy who can do everything and at any moment. And here comes the most interesting part, the one that really has me excited to the core. The comparison to Tarik Cohen, Tarik Cohen HD. At first, I have to admit, some fans were worried. Will he be another Velus Jones Jr., another third-round bust who fails to translate his speed to the NFL? But no, bro. The reports coming out of Halas Hall are clear. Thomas is a much more natural football player, with better instincts, with a field vision that Velus never had, and with more reliable hands. And the comparison to Cohen, it's perfect. Both have that short area explosiveness, that innate ability to return kicks that gets you on your feet, and that sudden movement skill that offensive coaches love because it's impossible to cover. Cohen was an all-pro in Matt Nagy's scheme, a guy who won you games with a single play, and Thomas Pham could find a similar niche, or even better with Ben Johnson. Imagine this, Caleb Williams under center with Rome Odunze and Luther Burden III stretching the field, Colston Loveland being a threat in the middle. And suddenly, Xavian Thomas goes in motion, takes a handoff or a screen pass, and with his 0 to 60 acceleration, breaks away for a 50-yard touchdown. This isn't just a return specialist, man. Johnson is already sketching out plays for him, drawing plays on the whiteboard with his name. This is crazy, fam. The Bears' offense, which already promised to be explosive, could be an absolute nightmare for opposing defenses with this kind of talent. Johnson's creativity, combined with Thomas's speed and versatility, is a recipe for success. I'm counting the days to see him in action. A flourish, or perhaps with a bit of intrigue, let's talk about the trenches, bro. The offensive line, the heart of any winning team, and specifically Garrett Bradbury and his contract. Garrett Bradbury HD, his contract has been renegotiated, converting $1 million in incentives into guaranteed money. He's now owed $4.7 million this season, with $3.7 guaranteed. This, at first glance, seems like a clear sign that the Bears want to keep him, that they trust him as our starting center. But here's the twist, the plot twist that makes us think. We drafted Logan Jones in the second round. Logan Jones HD. And not only that, but Ben Johnson has already come out and confirmed that Jones is going to compete for the starting job. Compete. This creates a super interesting dynamic, fam. If Jones, the rookie, proves to be the best in training camp and wins the starting job, what happens to Bradbury? Before this renegotiation, the speculation was that if Jones outperformed him, Bradbury would be a clear candidate for a trade. After all, we acquired him from the Patriots and spent a fifth-round pick on him. But now, with more guaranteed money, a trade seems less likely. Who's going to want to take on that contract if it's not for him to be a starter? But keep it a buck, fam. Competition is good. Competition is what makes us better. Having an experienced veteran like Bradbury, even if he ends up being the backup, is a life insurance policy. The offensive line is absolutely crucial for Caleb Williams' protection so he can have time in the pocket and make his reads. And it's also vital for opening up holes for our running game. Having depth on the line is a luxury we can't afford to disregard. I'm not fooled. If Logan Jones proves to be the best center, the most dominant, the one who has the best chemistry with Caleb, then I want the best on the field, period. And if that means Bradbury stays as an expensive backup, then so be it. The important thing is that Caleb is protected, that our running backs have room to operate, and that the offense functions like a well-oiled machine. Ryan Poles is building a culture of competition, and this is a clear example. I love it. Between potential trades that make us dream, explosive rookies who promise us a bright future, and strategic moves on the offensive line, the Bears never stop giving us something to talk about. The offseason is on fire, and with each passing day, the hype for next season grows more and more to the point where I can't sleep anymore. I need to see Caleb throw passes to Odunze and Burden. I need to see Thomas run across the field. I need to see our defense crush opposing quarterbacks. So, bro, if you like this analysis, if you felt the passion in every word, if you're as excited as I am for what's coming, hit that like button on this video, smash that like button like it's a Khalil Mack tackle, and tell me in the comments, Bam! What would you do with Cole Kmet? Trade him or keep him? Do you think Xavian Thomas will be the new Tarek Cohen or even better? And what do you think about the competition at center? I want to read all your opinions, your theories, your dreams for Da Bears, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single detail of our Chicago Bears. We're going to conquer this league. Bear down!